Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'm opening up a box. Let's get rolling. Alright, so I'm all set to unbox Under Our Sun. This is a game I'm really excited to get open. It is from Tabletopper Games, and they're an independent publisher. This is their first game, and I'm really impressed with the way these guys ran their campaign on GameFound. Everything's just been great so far. They've been really communicative and good with everybody's feedback. And I mean, the game itself seems really cool, so I'm excited to get this one open. And let me set this aside. The first thing I'm going to open is actually a second box. That is this one here. So this one actually, I got a notification that shipping was happening. And this was what showed up. And this is the Neoprene playmat. It was an add-on. And it's all that showed up at first. I really panicked for a second. I was like, oh my goodness, like the rest of my pledge is missing. But it's just this one thing shipped separate. Hey, let's focus, huh? Okay, there we go. So let's see what this is like. All right. Yeah, nothing else in that box, but this will probably be a good backdrop for the rest of the unboxing. So this game, if you're not aware, is like a post-apocalyptic survival sort of game. I think it's got a hidden trader mechanic, and I forget what the tagline is. It's like explore, craft, survive or something. So you're like crafting items in this post-apocalyptic desert Earth. Let's see. I think there's invaders and such. So this is a really big playmat. I'll scoot it over so it all fits. I suppose this side is the top. So let me get this box off of here, and I'll readjust the playmat and do the rest of the unboxing on there. There we go. So that's looking really nice. It's really big. It comes. Let's see if I can show you just how far this folds over. So this is about 2/3 of it on the screen. It's a really big playmat. And I don't really have much neoprene myself. I've got a small playmat for Sleeping Gods, and then I've of course got the Table for One playmat that I use for smaller games like Button Shy Wallet games. You can pick that up. Link is below if you want to grab that. But I obviously got neoprene for this, and then I've got some more coming in some future games. But this one is really nice. So happy with it. And let's get this box open. And I was also a little concerned when this box showed up. Because, I don't know, I think I've maybe gotten a little jaded with crowdfunding and just the size of like some of the enormous boxes that show up to my house. And this one is very reasonably sized. I thought something might be missing, but I don't think so. So I got the core box plus 2 extra characters, and I think it's card sleeves. And I've seen some info online. Looks like people are missing some sleeves. So I'll be sure to count those and let you know what my sleeve situation is. There's not a resolution yet, but I'm confident there will be. Let's see. So here's the sleeve pack. We'll get to that. Let's see if we can get this core box out. This might be the hardest part of the game. There we go. Got it. Hey, I think I was right. Explore, craft, survive. So yeah, these two guys, the designers, Maximilian and David, they ran the campaign. I think they started this company, Tabletopper Games, just to make this. But they, like I said, really good campaign. And this is super reasonably sized. I don't have anything offhand to compare it to, but just eyeballing it, this looks like what I would consider a standard board game box size, like a Terraforming Mars, a Spirit Island, something of that nature. I recently unboxed Sky Mines. It seems to be about that size box. So that's great for a crowdfunding game, you know? So let's get this thing open. So it's 1 to 4 players, and I've unboxed like I know a lot of stuff recently on this channel, and I'm playing a lot of Anachrony right now, so it's taking a lot of my solo play time. So all these games I'm unboxing, I will play them on the channel eventually, but this one is pretty high up on the priority list. I've got high expectations. I've usually got a pretty good sense after, I don't know, looking at a game, maybe checking out its rulebook, that sort of thing. I've got a pretty good sense of whether or not I'll like the game. And I'm a little extra diligent on crowdfunding things. So the fact that I backed this one should tell you that I think I'm really going to like it. Yeah, look at that. Really nice artwork on the inside of the box. Love that. Here's a signed thank you note with an insert on the back, or a description of how to put everything in the insert on the back. We have a guide to crafting. So you have all sorts of resources that you find in this game, and I think you can either take them apart into their constituents or build them from other things. I'm not 100% clear on how that works. A big house rules section. That's kind of funny. I like that. Glossary. Okay. So that's nice as well. We've got our rule book, and it looks pretty reasonably sized. So here's our contents. I'll be checking through that very carefully. Descriptions of the major components. There's game setup, a couple different game modes. Because I think you can play, in addition to solo, semi-co-op with like a trader mechanic, and I think there's a fully co-op as well. A lot of description of the combat. That might be one of the more complicated mechanics in the game. 18, this is page 19, just a quick reference guide on the back. All right, looks good. Looking forward to reading through that later. We've got some cardboard punch-outs. This is the day tracker. That one will be pretty simple to punch out. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more boards here. A lot of hex tiles. These are standees for the enemies, other types of tokens and markers. This one's under our sun. Punchboard 0-1 front, 0-1 back. I love when it's labeled like that. Oop, they're starting to punch. 0-2 front and back. Here's the third one. Artwork is great. Really like this thematically. And I think the game is set up with missions that you can play as a campaign, but you don't have to. You can just think of it as being scenario driven. But I would love a campaign for this. Not a super long one, but it's just a blank piece of cardboard. Okay. But with a lot of, with like a little storybook or something would be really cool. And they've teased that something like that might be in the works. And I think they mentioned in the hints some sort of clue, I forgot what it was, about it being set in or around Chicago. Maybe I was just reading too much into it. I don't know. But that would be super cool because that's the closest city to me. I've kind of moved too far away to claim to be from Chicago at this point. But all right, so we've got dice in here. So we've got, looks like 4 yellow dice, 3 green, 2 blue, and a red. And then we've got these, which are smaller than I imagined, but that's okay. They're black. It looks like they're blank on 4 sides, and they've got this little spiral on 2 sides. These are the karma dice, and I think that's the karma signal. I think different actions allow you to roll the karma dice and gain potentially karma tokens that you can spend and use on other things. Now there were, looks like this one's a little different. This one's just a D8 with numbers on it, 1 through 8, which I saw referenced here. So maybe use it. Might be 3 yellow. Yeah, it's probably 3 green, 3 yellow, 2 blue, and a red. And this is just the movement dice or something, would be my guess. But I think these are largely used for combat. They may have other uses. And yeah, there was some sort of add-on for more dice if you're planning to play with more 3 and 4 player games, because I think sometimes you'll need more dice than this, depending on how big and complicated the action is. And so I'm fine, like, if I need 4 green dice, like, I'll roll them. Okay, this one's blank, and then roll another. That wasn't a big deal for me. So I did not do the add-on dice, but that was an option. So these look good. I'm happy with these. Sort of a small thing to start with, but what else have we got? We've got this bag. So I think you're drawing random, I don't know if it's resources or tokens or what, but it comes with a random draw bag. Feels kind of canvassy, cloth bag. You can shut it. It's pre-printed with a question mark. It's good stuff. Thank you. What is this? Ooh, little storage box here. So we've got some larger cards. I think these are tarot size. These are smaller. I think these are US mini, if I remember correctly, but this campaign was like 10 months ago or something. And these don't quite seem like regular card size. They seem a little tall. I don't know what size that is. Hopefully I got enough sleeves for them, though. So 2 packs of these smaller ones. Items, loot, and there's one other type I don't recall off the top of my head. We'll figure it out. These are events. I think these are team cards. There's other card types in there. I think these are mission cards and then something else. We'll get to the cards, don't worry. Let's put these here for now. And then we've got our character boards. These look great. These are, looks like triple layer cardboard. Dual layer, but it's acting as triple layer. That's pretty smart. So there's the base layer, which is like the inset here, that hold your cube in place for these. But then this inset also has cutouts. So things are resting on the table in the cutouts. That's a really smart way to do that. And it looks like these are slots for your items. So you can hold different items or resources. That's really cool. Oh, I bet if you hold the item, you can't hold, like this will hold resources, but you can only hold like up to 9 resources or 3 items or a combination. So that takes away your ability to hold resources. Love that. That's really cool. So who is this? This is the veteran. We have the scout, the medic, and the thick skin, which I think is the tank. And they've got different abilities here, and it tells you like when this person attacks, they roll a green die, but when this one attacks, they roll a green and a yellow. So some of those dice that we saw earlier, the dice they're gonna have different numbers on them, and depending on the character, they'll have different strengths and weaknesses. So the veteran, I guess, is not very stealthy, but has a lot of attack, whereas the scout doesn't have a lot of strength, but has a lot of stealth. The medic has a lot of dexterity, and the thick skin has a lot of strength. So this looks really cool. And these are uncommon, but still nice default colors for the characters. The medic is green, the scout is pink, the veteran is orange, and the thick skin is like a tan. Not the typical player colors, but I like that. Now, again, this is in the base game box. I got 2 more characters. This was an add-on, so I've got a technician and an infiltrator. I will unbox those towards the end. And I think this was an add-on as well. I think these are minis for the characters rather than standees. And all the minis I got, including these, are the Preshaded edition. So they've got like 1 coat of paint on them. They're not painted minis, but they've got some sort of color on them. All right, let's get all this stuff out. So we've got, I think there's 8 resource types. Yeah, that looks right to me. And I'd wager that blue is water. I think green is food. I don't know what any of the rest of it is. Orange and red. Well, we can put it in like rainbow order, huh? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, clear, and black. So as you take apart different items and put things back together, oh, it tells me right here. Blue is water, red is food, yellow is fabric, black is metal, white or clear, I guess, is a connector, orange is wood, green is alcohol, and pink is plastic. So there you go. Those are the resources, but they're just standard cubes. These are the same size cubes you would find in Anachrony or Terraforming Mars, just regular plastic, translucent colored cubes. We've got this. Oh, this was like a stretch goal in the campaign. I think they hit all their stretch goals. Oh, and this one's Preshaded too. This is a little. This is the camp token. I think it was going to be just like a flat cardboard punch out, but it's a mini instead. So it's like a little tent. You can camp out somewhere. You can have a camp that presumably does something. Probably heals you for the evening or something. These are acrylic. I don't remember what they are. It'll probably tell me on here. So the ones with an X, these are an X, not a plus. These are injured, and these are these squigglies, which I guess look kind of like a heart monitor. Those are for infection. And this one, oh, it's just the starting player token. That's the Under Our Sun logo. So I'll put these away for the moment. These are nice though. Everything is really good quality. I'm very pleased with the pre-shade on this camp, because if you're a friend of the channel, you know that I'm okay with minis. I'm not like real big on them, but I would love to have them painted, but I will never paint them. It's not my thing. So a nice pre-shade goes a long way for me. This feels like a wooden token. It's black. It's just a black puck on both sides. I think this is universal. So we've got a bag of these. These are just the bottoms for all of these standees, the little bases. I think these are acrylic. And finally, some little wooden black cubes. So I will say, I guess they're maybe like a dark gray. They're about the same size as these resource cubes. They're slightly bigger, but with these being translucent, I don't know how it looks on video, but I can definitely tell you that I can tell the difference between these two at a distance. I was a little nervous when I first saw these that maybe they would look the same, but that's no big deal. And then we've got our organizer system here, which I don't know how to use yet, but these are clearly the hexes. These are certainly some type of card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to be the standard resources, I'm sure. Space for minis. That might be the camp. So once I get it all figured out, I'll show you how it all works. So I'm going to start by going through all of this base game stuff that I just showed you, and then I will do this stuff at the end, and then I'll get it all in the box. So stick with me, and I'm going to do my time-lapse bit and get it all unboxed. So here we go. So I've gone through all the components in the main box. It's kind of a mixed bag. So let me show you what I found. And I did mention that I got the sleeves, and I know a lot of people are missing sleeves. I'm not going to sleeve them all right now, but I will sleeve them before I edit and publish this video, and I'll put on the screen, I guess, right now. Or not right now. When I show you the cards, I'll let you know if I had all the sleeves for that card type or not. So when we get to the card section, I'll take care of that in post. So everything fits in the box, but there were some quirks, especially with, specifically with this contents page in the book and comparing it to the stuff I've got. So this was interesting. So first, there were 2 of these day trackers, which are identical from what I can tell at a quick glance. I think you only need 1 to play, so if you've got more than 1 person, I guess you can put them on opposite sides of the table, and then everybody's got something to look at, but it says 1 day tracker in the rulebook, and there are 2. We've got our character boards. We already looked at those. Those are fantastic. I'm very pleased with those. We've got our tiles here. There are 32 map tiles, and That is correct. That's not correct. I'm sorry. I've got 34 tiles. So I don't know if 2 of them were like stretch goals or something. I can't quite remember. I suppose I can check real quick. Now, the stretch goal section doesn't say anything about extra map tiles, so perhaps they go with 1 or more of the stretch goal unlocked extra missions, or maybe there's a couple duplicates. I don't know. So that's interesting. I've got 34. The book says 32. But then each one has along the side like a little area here that tells you what type of resource cubes to put there. So different map tiles will give you different types of things. And then I don't know if you can quite see, but they've got these little circular, they're not indentations or anything, but it's obvious that you can put circles there. And it's probably for standees. It might be for some of the tokens. I'm not sure, but it can tell you, I guess, like how many players or enemies a certain place can hold. Here you can see it pretty good on that one, these little circles. I don't know what all the iconography means, but these map tiles are good. I'm happy with these. They're all the same on the back, so you can randomize your map to some degree. And I bet there will be some fan variants where people come up with other ways to randomize starting positions. As suspected, the mini for the camp does fit here. Fits there very nicely. So there's the camp. The resource tokens, these were confusing, but I have everything I need. So there are 8 resource types. And blue is water, red is food and or hit points, HP. So you have an HP tracker here and a food tracker, if I can get one of these out here. Those are the greatest denominations of cubes. So you've got 45 red, 38 blue for water. And so these 2 wells, you can't quite see, are deeper than these 6 wells that you can hold all those cubes there. Now, the rest of the cubes were confusing to me, and I'll put this on the screen as well, or I'll do my best. I don't know if you can quite see the colors here, but I take these out so you can see maybe a little bit better, hopefully. The booklet for these other 6 cube types just says 95 resource cubes. It doesn't tell you the denominations, and the numbers are all kind of wacky. So for reference, I did have my 45 red or HP or food, my 38 blue, and then I wrote this down. The rest of these total in 95 as the booklet says, but I've got 20 yellow, 19 black, 17 clear or white, 15 orange, 13 green, and 11 purple. So 20 of this one, 19, and then descending by 2, 17, 15, 13, 11. So it would have been really helpful to spell that out in the book, because I was adding it up myself and trying to figure out, did I have everything? Was anything missing? That was fairly confusing, but I got through it. Then let's move on to the cards. So again, some of this is not spelled out. So this stack here, these larger tarot cards, it just says 32 mission and other cards, which I do have. I have them all. Of the 32, 4 of them are these like reference sheets, 1 for each player. We've got 1 trading post, which if you've got the player mat, it's like the same thing that's up here in this corner. It's printed on the map, which is nice. So 1 trading post, 2 of these dealer cards, which besides the artwork seem to be the same to me. I'm not seeing anything different between these 2 cards, but 2 dealers. And then mission cards. Mission 1 has 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. Mission 2 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Mission 3 has 1. Mission 4 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Mission 5 has 1. Mission 6 has 1, 2. And Mission 7 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. So that totals up to 32, I believe. And I'll let you know, I guess at this point, when I edit it, after I've sleeved these, if I had enough sleeves, and do they fit? I'm a little skeptical. I think they'll fit here. There's some room. I hope they fit. Next is these standard card size. I said they didn't look standard to me, but what do I know? The booklet says they're standard card size, so let's go with that. One thing I want to say is this insert here in the tray, I originally put them down like this orientation right in there. Don't do that. They should go this way. They should be standing on their side, not face up, because there's not like this space is like just big enough for the cards. There's probably enough room for the sleeves. Again, I'll let you know in just a moment on the screen, but there's not like a finger well that goes all the way to the bottom. So the ones on the bottom you really can't get out. I had to take the box and kind of tip it over sideways to get them out. So you never want to have to dump your cards out. That's not great. So make sure you put it in this orientation or you're going to have an issue. So I had all of these cards. There were 13 team cards, 10 in the sun deck, 22 in the night deck. We have 25 in the enemy deck and 35 in the event deck. So again, the quantities of each of these were 13, 10, 22, 25. Nope. Yes, 25 and 35. So I had all my cards. Again, I'll put on the screen whether or not I had all of these sleeves for these. I'm going to run through real quick what these are. So the team cards, 10 of them, 10 of the 13 just say Survivor, and then 3 of them are Sons of Liberty, and it looks like they're all different, which is cool. I think these are the ones that you pass out at the beginning of the game, and the Sons of Liberty are the traitors. This is the hidden traitor mechanic. So that's what these cards are. And then the game is obviously called Under Our Sun, and I said it's post-apocalyptic. I forget exactly what the lore is, but something happened to the sun. It was something like wacky, like a comet hit it, which doesn't make any sense, but sure. And so the sun like flares up, it gets stronger, and you have flares all the time. And so this is basically a weather deck. So the weather can be mild, heat, storm, or solar storm. And this will affect what goes on during the day. And then you've got stuff that can happen at night as well. So that's what this night deck is. You can have calm nights. You can have enemies appear. Looks like there's a lot of night enemies. Panic, frostbite. Fire. What is that? I don't know. Maybe another bad guy. Inferno, which is a worse fire. Then we've got an enemy deck. So I guess you're drawing when there's an enemy, what type of enemy it is. So there are some duplicates, but they're in different quantities in here. So a bunch of enemies. And finally, our events. And I assume this is like many other games where you flip an event every turn or something. You do what it says. It could be good, could be bad, could be mixed. And that'll affect how the game plays out. So these are the standard size cards. And I did have the correct quantities of all the cards, according to the rule book. The next are these mini cards. And this was kind of funny to me, but let me separate them into their 3 decks. Again, put them in there standing on their side. So we've got gear, we've got item, and we've got loot. And I just thought it was funny that gear says gear and item says item, but loot is a icon. I don't know why they didn't either write loot, because they're all 4-letter words, or make icons for gear and item. I don't know. But gear cards look like they are formatted horizontally. I think exclusively. Yep. Item cards are formatted vertically. And so that makes sense in the respect that when you have your character sheet, you can slot your items here. You cannot slot gear. So that's just a nice little cue for that. And then loot. Make sure when you're counting them, look at the back of the cards so you know what you're counting, because the loot cards can contain, some of them say loot, but some can contain items. So it looks like an item on this side, but it came from the loot deck, and it can also contain gear. So don't try and sort them out from the face side. Make sure you look at the backs. And then there is one special item for each of the characters. So let's maybe go through those real quick. So I don't really know what they do, but the thick skin has a plasma shield, and it looks like you have 3 uses on that. Now maybe these all have, not all 3, but the scout has a multi-drone, 3 uses on that. The medic has adrenaline, 3 uses there. That looks like an adrenaline like syringe, basically an EpiPen, right? The veteran has a sniper rifle with, it says number of uses 3, but it only has 2 slots on it. So I wonder what that means. Maybe that's ammo, and you can only hold 2 at a time, but you can use it 3 times. I don't know. That's curious. And then the expansion characters, the Technician has a Transformer, 3 uses on that, and the Infiltrator has a Poison Dagger, 3 uses on that. So those are those decks of cards. Again, the number of each card matches the book. The gear, there's 19, the item has 53, and the loot deck has 48. And once again, I'll put on the screen whether or not I had enough sleeves. But again, this whole sleeving thing, if you're buying your own sleeves, or if you're not going to sleeve, or if you want to buy the game in the future, I'm sure they'll have the problem solved. This is just the initial run for the first Game Found campaign. So let's get to the tokens, and this was maybe the most frustrating part. We'll just go through this little box first. First of all, this little box does not quite match the picture here. This picture shows this having 2 sections, but it's just one big section, and it's for markers and dice. So there's these main dice, and the booklet says you should have 9 D8 dice, and I sort of do, because I've got 3 green, 3 of these yellow regular ones, 2 blue, and a red. That's 9 D8s. But then I've also got this D8 that's just numbered 1 to 8, and that's not anywhere in this contents. It's just this one page of contents. That one's not listed. So I think these are the main 9, but I think there's a 10th that you do something different with. Not sure. Don't know why that one's not listed. Next was the Karma dice. That one was more straightforward. Let's see if I can get this thing actually sealed. And so all these markers, if you recall, came in little plastic bags that were rippable, like they're one-time use bags, and they went in the tray. All these other plastic bags were Ziploc bags. And so the Ziplocs you're going to need. You're going to keep those to keep track of everything. And then the camp miniature, that came in a Ziploc bag, but it has a place to store. So I took that bag and used it for the Karma dice to separate them out from these dice. So the Karma dice, these are D6s. You should have 12 of those. I had no issue there. And again, I just put them in the bag that the camp token came in. These little black pucks are just universal markers. So they're not universal resources. They're just markers for different things. They're multi-purpose markers. That's fine. 20 of those. And I had all those. And then these gray markers, there's 10 of these. I don't know exactly what these markers are for, but 10 of these cubes. So you put all those in there. They don't really quite fit. I can probably do something to smash them down a little better, but this lid's not going to stay on there super well. And then beneath it, this was maybe the most frustrating part, it just says Standees and tokens, and you just kind of dump everything in there, and there's a lot of stuff. So let me get it out and try and make sense of this. Maybe you can help me out. Let's make sense of it together. So some of this stuff I'll need, and some I suppose I won't, but I don't know yet. When I can get rid of some of it, it'll help this sit a little bit lower, because again, this box sits on top of all that stuff that I just took out. All right, that feels empty. So if I can get rid of some of this stuff, then this will sit lower and a little better. So we've got our acrylic stands for the Standees. There are 15 of these, no issue there. These acrylic pieces I showed you earlier. So there were 4 of the damage X's, 4 of the infected tokens, and then 1 acrylic first player token. Now over here on the cardboard punch out side, there were 4 infected tokens, and when you flip them over, they were damaged. So instead of 8 tokens, there's only 4. And then there's also a first player marker in cardboard as well. That's all well and good too. There is 1 standee for each of the players. If you've got the minis, because again, that was a separate add-on, then you have the choice. You can use standees or minis, but it comes with 6. So it comes with the 2 expansion ones, whether or not you have those characters. There's another one in here somewhere. Not seeing it. Nope, there it is. Nope, that's not. There we go. Because the player color is black on that one. The 2 expansion players are this teal one and black. That's hard to find. So if you don't have the expansions, what you're going to be missing is this player board, because again, these are unique. So you can use little standees, but you're going to be missing the rest. So there's 6 of those, fine. The rest of these standees are the enemies, and so the pictures match the pictures on the enemy cards that we already looked at. There are 25 of these standees, and I had all of those, no issues there. So let's take this stuff, dump it in there. We'll put the bag on the top. All the standees we dump in there. All right, here's where I got confused. So we've got these A, B, C, and Ds, and they're the same front and back. There's 2 of each, 2 A's, 2 B's, 2 C's, 2 D's. Okay, 8 tokens there. We've got these 4, which remember were a little different front and back. Separate those for a moment. We've got our 4 karma tokens. Those are the same front and back. We've got these 4 things. I don't know what they are. But this is the front, this is the back, or I don't know which is front and which is back, but they're reverses of each other. One has like an arm making a muscle sort of symbol, and the other is gears. So there's those 4. These are the same front and back. This is like a trade sort of icon, it looks to me. It's like the loot icon, but 2 hands, like passing one thing to another. The other side is a question mark, which I think is the icon for events. But there are 4 of those. Then we've got these are flags on the front and Sons of Liberty on the back. There are these camp tokens, which are the tents on the front and these canisters, it looks like, on the back. Maybe it's like a canteen, not sure. 3 of those. And then these are, looks like fire, like a campfire sort of icon. And then one side is just a campfire. The other side is the same image, or not quite the same image. Like there's like a spit roast over it, and it looks like a cup or something steaming, something hot. So maybe you like make food as well. And so we've got 8 of these, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, and 3. And when I add all that up, I get to 34. The book just says 36 tokens, and it doesn't break down what you're supposed to have, but it does call out the 1 starting player marker separately, so that's why I moved this one to the side. So it seems, according to the book, like I'm missing 2 tokens, but I couldn't even tell you which ones I'm missing. I mean, of the ones that are pictured here, I have at least 1 of each, but I don't know. Am I missing something? Is it a misprint? I don't know. So I will try and reach out to Tabletopper Games and find out. And if I get an answer, I'll put it in this video before I edit it. So I've got a few days for that. Otherwise, I guess I'll put it in the notes for the video so you can find it down there. But all of these tokens, now that we've sorted them out, get dumped in here. So I would love a better way to organize these. And like I said, some of them are duplicates, like these. I've got the acrylic version, so I probably could just take them out. I won't actually get rid of them. I'll just keep them in a bag and never touch them forever. And I'll put this first player one in here with the other acrylic tokens. So, yeah, it was a little frustrating trying to figure out, am I missing something? Or is it just a misprint in the book? I don't know. And then just the fact that they all get tossed in a pile there is not my favorite, but so that sticks up quite a bit. That's definitely sticking up over the box right now, but should be okay. So let's take some of this stuff and set it aside. Other than that, all these things fit right here in the middle, and then you throw the booklets on top, and besides this kind of sticking up a bit, which I'm sure I could do this more efficiently than what I did, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. Unless, can I make that fit here? No, it's just a little too big to fit there. I could take some tokens out and maybe lay them here. That might help some. I don't know. I'm going to be fighting with this for a little bit. This is a little bit better this way. We'll see if it fits after I sleeve it. I suspect it will. All right, so that's sort of where that can just go on top. That's kind of where everything goes. Let's get to opening the other add-on stuff. So we'll set this aside. And let's take a look, I guess, first at the Deluxe character set, Preshaded Edition. So these should be the minis for the 4 main characters that come in the standard box. All right, simple enough. So they come in one bag. They've got a little, color markers on the bottom that match their preset player colors. And let's take a look. Again, I got the Preshaded one, so they're Preshaded in like a brownish tan, which kind of blends into the map a little bit, but it's very thematic as well, so I'm all for it. It's kind of the same color as like this guy's player color, but this is the thick skin. Very nice. We have, who's pink? That is the Scout. They look good to me. Orange is the Veteran, like holding a pistol sort of pose. And the Medic. Cool. So I like those. I think they came out good. I am, again, not a painter, nor do I want to be one. So I might not be looking at these with as critical an eye as some of you who are really good painters might be looking at it, but let's see if I can figure out. They've all got their own individual wells. Just trying to tell by the shape. All right, so now let's open up these 2 expansion characters. We'll start with the Technician. Maybe I'll lay these back out just so we can compare to the base characters. Very light box because there's really not much in it. It's just going to be the cardboard and the mini. So this is not a box that I need to hold on to. Oh, interesting. That's not what I was expecting. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more food slash HP markers, 4 more water. And again, you can see these come in the one-time use rippable plastic, not in plastic bags. Is that red? It kind of looks more orange. I suppose I can go grab that box and probably just look at the back and it would tell me, but honestly, I'm having a hard time telling the difference. I think they're probably meant to go here, but they kind of look a little halfway between the two. And I guess true to the rest of the stuff that I've detailed here, it says the contents are the Preshaded Mini, which I've got, along with the colored ring for the base, double layer character board, we've got that, 3 Karma dice, we've got that, 2 tracking cubes. Did I see that? Oh, here's 2 tracking cubes, and then 10 additional resources. It doesn't detail what the resources are. So I've got 6 of this and 4 of these, which are definitely blue for water. Do these match the other blue? Like, these are clearly blue. I won't make that mistake, but now I'm curious. Let's see if we can get one of these out. Yeah, that is not the same. I don't think. I think it's a different blue, like it was printed at a different time or place. Maybe not. Maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me. But those 4 seem darker. Okay, well, I'm going to assume they go in this one. They're in there now, so good luck. A couple of these gray ones. Those go with these. Got Karma dice. I wish I understood the mechanics of the game a little better in this particular moment. It'd probably help me to figure some of these things out. And I'm going to hold on to these plastic bags because they might prove useful for sorting some of those tokens. So these little Ziploc ones, I'll keep those. I'll set this here. Let's get our mini and the base. This guy's carrying like a giant wrench over his head. That's pretty neat. Big backpack. This is the Technician. I'll keep that plastic bag too. And let's see, he's got to be over here. No. Man, who was that space for? I'm going to have to figure this out. Not 100% certain. But anyway, that one looks good. Let's take a look at this other one, the Infiltrator, who is player color black, which made it a little bit difficult to see. Should be okay for the mini itself, though. And it looks like the contents on this one should be about the same. Okay. Let's take a look at the mini first. Oh, this one's got like a big cape. That's more intricate. There's a lot more going on there. That's pretty cool. I guess that's what goes in that big space. Man, I am confused. But I think this one goes to the right. Okay, Infiltrator. Nice. 4 blue, presumably 6 red. Just put them in there. Put the blue here. Another plastic bag I can keep. A couple plastic bags I can keep. All right, so 2 more of these. 3 more of these. All right, while I'm putting this stuff away, let me lay these out so you can take a look at how it might be different from some of the other characters. Doesn't look like anything radically different, just looking at the attributes and what they roll for. So the Technician has high strength, just like the thick skin. Oh, and yellow for stealth. So the only difference is they're slightly better at dexterity, whereas the thick skin is slightly better at attack. And then the Infiltrator, this one is more noticeably different from the others in the way that the dice are distributed. So single green dice for strength and dexterity, and then a green and a yellow for attack and stealth, but no double green. No double green, but no single yellow, so that's a trade-off. So that one will be neat to play. Looks like the tracks, though, are like the same. Nobody's got extra health or water or items, anything like that. It's the same punchboard. Okay. So let's put our additional karma dice and these trackers in here. There's no way that it's all going to fit in there. I think we're just going to keep dice in here, and the rest will have to go down here. So give me just a second. Let me figure out what's going on with these minis, and then I'll get this all packed up and wrap it up. All right, I should have listened to my instinct that the 2 expansion characters would be together at the end. So I've got the thick skin, the veteran, the medic, the scout, the Technician, and the Infiltrator in that order. This seems to be right. So I'll put the resource tokens or resource cubes on top there. And then I've got my 6 player boards. I'll put them in the same order because that's what I do. My 2 day trackers go on top. And then we've got the random draw bag, can go pretty much anywhere. Our booklet and our crafting guide, and then the insert map go there on top. Plenty of room. Put the lid back on. and great, no lid lift. So that's wonderful. That's Under Our Sun. I'm really excited to play this. I think it's going to be really good. Hopefully I've got all the sleeves. That would be nice. And then there were a few hiccups as I was going through the components, but mostly pretty happy with what I've got there. So my takeaways, I've got to find out if I'm missing a couple of punch-out tokens and maybe why I've got 2 extra map tiles. I wonder if those count as the 2 tokens I'm missing. That can't be, though. That doesn't make any sense. And then new problem for me, I got to figure out where am I going to put this giant map. I've got to roll it up and keep it somewhere. So I will figure that out. But once I've got some of those things figured out, I will do my best to get this, to get a solo playthrough of Under Our Sun on this channel as soon as I can. And I'll try and answer some of those questions quickly in the intro of that video. So if you'd like to see more of this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. And you can always feel free to leave a comment too, just to tell me in a little more detail what you're thinking. I'm always really happy to interact with everybody. And share this video with anybody who you think might enjoy it. And don't forget, you can always head over to my Ko-fi page, KO-FI. That's a link in the description where you can throw me a couple dollars if that's something you're interested in doing and have the ability to do so. It helps the channel keep going. But that's what I've got for this time on Table for One. I had a good time unboxing it. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and I hope you're looking forward to playing, or at least watching me play, Under Our Sun. Once again, thank you for watching, and have an awesome week. I'll see you in the next video.